pocket what I need to pay is the electrical, the plumbing, the front step, the back step, getting the skirting under the mobile home. All in, that cost me about $6,000. I had 4 to start with. I only spent 2 out of my pocket. Merry Christmas, daughter. Got the mobile home sold for her for $23,000 cash.
What's up, Forte community? This your girl G. Coleman, CEO and founder of Brown Skin Girl, located in Waldorf, Maryland, and Dallas, Texas.
How do you like your grits?
Sugar. You put sugar in your grits.
You put sugar. We starting off the podcast line. That's what.
So my plaque, I got a Beyonce plaque. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we had two number ones, right? But then the other plaque I got is for Lil Nas X. So Lil Nas X. I'll show it to you.
What's up, world? This is your favorite chef. Chef X is in the building. I've worked with some of the most amazing talents in the world, from Cardi B, Offset, Negative Style, Your Money Bag, Eddie Murphy, you name it, I've done it. And I just want to say shout out to the Forte podcast.
The types of assets that I purchase are multifamily apartment buildings, right? So I'm typically looking at buildings, complexes that are 100 units or more. The largest that I've ever been a part of is right at 300 units. Come on.
Anything you do that's worth succeeding, you always got to take a step down to go up. Mm-hmm. Even if you're going to go win the lottery, you got to take a deficit of $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, however much you spend it on a lottery. So your bank account takes a deduction before you shoot up. So before you shoot up to $20, $30 million, your bank account needs to take a deficit, whether it's gas to go to these meetup.com locations, whether it's to go put on a suit or buy a suit if you don't have a suit, to be able to be presentable in circles, right? Or to get a laptop or to get a printer. Like, it's always going to be deduction before you see a production.
I want you to know that if you have a desire to be great, yes, the greatest among you is a servant.
I'm Bo Wheeler, owner of Arthur Wheeler Experience Company, and y'all are tuned in to the Forte Podcast.
What's going on? The Forte Podcast.
What's up? Welcome to the Forte Podcast. I'm your co-host, Dominic Epps.
And I'm your co-host, Randall Monfiston.
And we are here to dive into your lane of greatness to discover what comes easy for you that may not be easy for all others.
Everyone's a genius, from the 9-to-5 employee to the Fortune 500 billionaire. We're here to highlight those attributes through dialogue and interviews with what?
Amazing guest.
That's
right. But I got one question for you, my brother.
What's that, bro?
What's your forte? Let's go, man. Let's go. All right. So welcome everybody to the Forte Podcast. We're so excited because we have another amazing episode today. This is where, we interview guests, we bring people on, and we want to know what their forte is. But bro, can you explain to the people, what do we mean when we say forte? What's your forte? Because we never really talked about that. So can you, can you just make it clear and make it, very plain for our viewers? What do we mean by that?
I think our intro kind of sums that up, but to kind of drive it home for those who may just pass over what we say in the intro, is not by happenstance. We're speaking to whatever niche you have that's easy for you, that no one else can do. Something that you just go up and you just wake and you just creative and you just want to grind at it. And most people are like, how do you do that? If somebody's asking how you do that, there's probably something that you have that's a skill that no one else has, and that's your forte.
Ooh, I love it. So before we get into our guests, because maybe we have some new people watching today, bro. So what's your forte? What is it that you do?
Oh, so man, for those who are season 1 watchers, those who are now season 2 watchers, I went through a whole transition, right? I went from 9-to-5 on season 1 to now full-time entrepreneur. I'm an owner of Gift Transport Inc. If you see the logo. Anybody has a Class A CDL looking to work in the Baltimore area, please go to gifttransport.com. But my job right now, my goal right now is to nurture this company, grow this company. It's my baby, and just keep out here just getting these contracts. So, that's my forte.
Yes, sir.
And being over analytical, as Dom says. You always analyze stuff.
Very much so. And for those of you watching, I'm all things real estate, right? So if it's buying, if it's selling, assisting others to do the same. That is my forte. Is real estate, from Airbnb, long-term rentals, short-term rentals, buy-in, flip, buy-in, hold, and I teach everybody how to do so. You can go to DominicEppsLLC.com for more information. DominicEppsLLC.com. Let me spell my name for those of you that may not know how to spell it. It's DOMENICK, and it's actually pronounced Dominic. Now that's out the way. Now,
Yeah.
we have an amazing guest, brother. We have an amazing guest, man, that we want to bring on. She's doing some awesome things. She has an amazing story, by the way. And I had the opportunity to attend one of her events here in Atlanta. But she's from the city. You know, she's from the hometown VA, right? But I had an opportunity. She did an event here in Atlanta, Georgia, and it was very, very, very intimate. It felt like therapy almost, to be honest. I don't know if she's a licensed therapist or not, but it felt like a therapy session. It was real dope. So I want to bring and introduce to you all the one and only, come on, Kelli Sweat. Let's go.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm excited to be here.
Kelli, we're so glad you're here. Can you tell everybody, what do you do? What's your forte?
So my forte is pushing people beyond their limits and letting people know, no matter what your past may be, there is a great future ahead of you. So that's what I do. That's what my forte is.
Ooh.
That does sound like a counselor. The way you
Yeah,
delivered that.
look. I want to read what she got. She says, I see that sign behind her. It says, pressure makes diamonds and you were born to shine. I like that.
Absolutely.
I like that. I like that. So let our viewers know, where are you from? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
Yes, I am born and raised in Franklin, Virginia. I'm currently still in the 757 in Suffolk, but I'm from a little small city, Franklin, Virginia. I will always rep it. I love it and will forever be proud to be from Franklin.
That's the second person from Franklin.
Yeah, we just had Dr. Scott. We had Dorchester. So are you representing you
Okay,
Dorchester?
yes.
We had Dorchester. Yeah, Dr. Scott was up here last week.
Okay, dope.
Yep.
Good people.
Absolutely. What you got for, bro?
So how we kind of start off the podcast, you already said that you're from Franklin, but we wanted to dive deep. You said who you are as you are today. We like to bring the viewers, the listeners, kind of on a journey of where you start at. So Kelli, tell us about how you grew up and how that may have influenced your decision to be the person you are today.
Okay, great. So, like I said, I'm from Franklin, Virginia. It's a very small town. So, kind of like the highlight when I was growing up was like we had like a Walmart. Like it's tiny. We had one elementary school, one middle school, one high school. So, for outside of like family and mentors that I had, for the most part, you're very limited and thinking of the possibilities of what you could be. I think while I was growing up, one of the biggest things that people wanted to do was work at the shipyard. And to be clear, I'm not downing that, but we didn't really have options, or we weren't as exposed to as many options as other people. Like being an entrepreneur wasn't really something popular. You would know people that did it, but you didn't know not a lot about it. So for me, my mom gave me a lot of exposure. She would take me to places. I would take classes in different areas and go to different cities because kind of limited in opportunity. I had great mentors, my pastors, that would take us places, expose us to different things that I wasn't aware of prior to. So being exposed to different things, visiting different cities and states, really placed, I guess, like in my heart or on me that we don't have to be limited by where we grew up or where people try to cap you. There's so many things that you can achieve if you just kind of, get some grit, network, expose yourself, push yourself beyond the limits, and not just subscribe to, well, people say I can only do this or you can only work in one lane. We didn't really talk about multiple streams of income when I was growing up. It's like you get a job, you stay there for the benefits, you retire from it, right? And then as I got
Wow.
older and more exposure, it's like, no, you can, you can do the real estate thing and the trucking thing, and you can have a 9 to 5 if you want. You can do multiple things, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you're all over the place. It just means that you can have multiple streams of income, and you can even have multiple ways that you show what your passion is and the way that you serve.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about like your household size. Was it a big family? Are you the only child? And how was it as a child growing up in Franklin? I heard you say about the Walmart. There's one high school, one middle school, one elementary school. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
But you also had a bowling alley. Like, come on now.
We did have a
I've
bowling
been to,
alley.
you got a bowling alley. You got a Roses. Like, I've been to Franklin. You get what I'm saying? So, all right. So, household size. Talk to about household size, and how was the family unit as far as growing up in Franklin?
Yeah, so I had a smaller household size. I'm the oldest. I have two younger sisters, but we have a big age gap. So my sisters are 9 and 10 years younger than me. I grew up part of my life with both of my parents. My parents got divorced when I went into high school. So that was some changes in that space. But I had a very close knit family. Still to this day, I have a very close knit family, and thankfully my parents, even though they're not together anymore, they get along very well, and they're very supportive of me. My grandparents lived on one street, and then my great grandma lived one street over, and then my aunt lived on the next street over. So we were tight knit, and I could walk from house to house and go to the candy lady and go to my aunt's house.
Hold on. See, this is what I'm talking. I don't even know if Randall even had that in New Jersey. Did y'all have a candy lady? Because we had a candy lady. Did y'all have one?
Y'all
Randall?
have candy lady?
Yeah, we did. During the summers, we had two forms of candy. During the school year, we had one lady. Everybody passed by. It was like trick or treat every day. You just go in there. She just 5 cents, 10 cents, or whatever have you. And then there was an icy lady right across the street from the Boys and Girls Club. We'll go get those styrofoam cups of Kool-Aid ices. Man,
we call them snowballs. We call them snowballs. Yeah, snowballs. Yeah.
Man,
today's kids know nothing about this. They know
don't.
nothing about a candy lady, nothing about snowballs, and going in and getting Laffy Taffies and now laters and they don't know anything about. They don't know anything about that.
That's kind of a testament to the times, man. Like everybody's not reputable. Yep. Back then, we were just going into some random person's house. Now you can't even trust when you go trick or treating. You got to take your kid's candy bag and then replace it with the one that you bought from Walmart. No plug on the Walmart that you probably went to when you was younger.
Right. So all right, Kelly, this is gonna tell your age right here. I know you said there was a 9-year, 10-year gap between you and your two siblings, right? Growing up in Franklin, let me see how y'all. Let me just see. And Randall, let me know if y'all did this out in Jersey too, in Asbury Park. You had 2 games. There was 2 games that we played. One was hide and go seek, and the other, let's see if y'all know, and if y'all watching us live, put it in the chat. What am I talking about, Randall? What am I talking about? What was the other game, brother? Come on, talk to me. What am I talking about? Let me see.
I hope this doesn't make me look. Is it hide and go snatch? Is it hide and snatch? Is that what you talking about? Or are you talking about something else?
Oh, y'all called it snatch? Okay, Kelly, what did y'all call it growing up?
Oh, so if it's the game that I'm thinking, I don't know if it's the same one.
I know the Saints watching. But go ahead. Come on, talk to us.
There was that, and it was hide and go get it was one.
Hide and go get it. That's right. It was hide and go seek and hide and go get it. That's what we call it, Randall. We call it hide and go get it. Okay. All right. So all right. So y'all had it in Franklin as well. Hide and go get it. Okay. That explains. Okay.
Why are we even bringing up stuff like that?
Hey man, just trying to see how we all relate. That's all, man. There were certain things we were exposed to as kids that we probably shouldn't have been exposed to.
That's who made us. That's what developed us to be the people we are today.
That's why we got that grit and grind, man. We went. We had to go get it.
To go snatch it. Got it. Understood. Okay. All right. Moving on.
All right. Moving on. So Kelly, growing up in Franklin, you talked about how I'm assuming it was your parents, it was your grandparents that talked about, listen, getting a good job is important. right? If you're
Right.
going to make it out of here, or if you're going to be successful in this city, you got to have good income, right?
Right.
But you talked about being exposed, your mother specifically exposing you. So what were some of the things that your mom exposed you to at a young age to make you think bigger than Franklin?
So one, she taught me a lot of like Black history, ancestral history, especially for like Black inventors and Black thinkers that were from all over the place. As well as she would take me, like I learned like Spanish at a young age. She would drive me like literally back and forth from Williamsburg. We would catch the ferry to Williamsburg, through Surrey to Williamsburg and back, so I could take Spanish classes at College of William and Mary. When I was in high school, I wanted like whatever I wanted to try. So they did like auditions for a news show when I was in high school. She would drive me back and forth to Portsmouth to go, and I did get the part. She would drive me back and forth every Saturday to go record for this news show. And it's just like the sacrifices and the time. I didn't realize at the time, but just how much time it takes to go back and forth to places and the money spent to be a part of these things. For her, it was, you may not be able to do that where we are, but I can get you to these places so that you are able to be exposed and you're able to try to navigate and see what it is that may stick or what it is that you may try. One of the biggest things from my mom, I learned like you could try things. If it doesn't work out, you never have to live with the regret of what if or this could have been, because anything, I'm like, Mom, I want to do this. We're on the road and we're going to it. And that was like, I'll never forget those moments of it. Like I
Do you
was
think
going to Williamsburg in
Yeah.
elementary school. I'll never forget that.
do you think you had somewhat of a natural curiosity for receiving what your mom was exposing you to? Because I could see some personalities, even though that they're like, even not trying to downplay our youth, right? So some things that we pour into them that we probably wanted to experience as children ourselves, they're not receptive to. So you think you already had that in you a little bit to want to be receptive to what your mom was trying to introduce you to?
Absolutely. I think I had a natural curiosity, and her pushing me kind of expanded my horizon. So I think I was still limited because, you don't know what you don't know. So I think I was
Mm-hmm.
limited in some ways, but just of her nudging made me ask more questions because I had a safe space to ask questions and to, ask. It was never, there were some no's, obviously, but there was never like her saying no to everything or repeatedly or like squashing my dreams. It was always okay, we can do this then, we're scheduling things, we're figuring out how things are going to work versus just a no. So I appreciate her. I always appreciate her for that.
Gotcha.
That's nice. So
Gotcha. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
optimistic culture that she provided for you
Absolutely.
instead of a
So I think that is the root of it that kind of made space for me to have the curiosity, was that there was space for it.
That's good. That's good.
yeah.
You also talked about mentors. Can you talk about, the mentors that you had growing up and how have they impacted, your journey and what you're doing right now?
Absolutely. I guess outside of my mother, my godmother, Pamela Haney, she is currently president of a college in Illinois. But I think seeing her, she was one of the first Black women who had a PhD that I knew. So that was like, it made it closer, as well as my pastors, Dr. Dwight Riddick, Dr. Janelle Riddick, some of the ideas that they would just kind of tell us, or some of the places that they took us. Like they took me to the melting pot for my first time. Like for some people that may not be a big thing, but it was like, oh, we can you can cook your own food, and like it was exposure. We didn't have anything like that where I was from, as well as we would do like, it was like fun small things, but it really was exposure. Traveling to different places, being around different types of people.
Yep.
I know one thing I still do with my daughter to this day. We went restaurant hopping one time, so we would eat like appetizer somewhere, a main entree somewhere else, and then go somewhere else to get dessert. Right. But they also exposed me to people, writers, preachers, educators that I've never heard of. And the knowledge that they brought were things that I never even considered. So it expanded the possibilities of what I thought I could be. Like I don't have to be stuck in a box, but you may not agree with everything, or you may not, everything might not catch, but just the point of seeing people in spaces that you never imagined that you can be, especially people that look like you, people of color, women, younger people, seeing them like moving, traveling, doing things that you've never seen before. Like, it really broadens your horizons.
Absolutely. And let me say, you were blessed with some of the greatest pastors, by the way, because Pastor Riddick, let me tell you, he exposed me to gospel rap. I've never heard of it before. Didn't even know it existed, right? And if I did thought it existed, I thought it was probably whack. But man, I would never forget it. He took me to matter of fact, it was some event at Hampton University, probably was doing a ministers conference or something, but it was a youth portion. And at this time he was the youth pastor under his father. And he took me there, and man, had me feeling like I was back on stage again. It was real dope. It was real dope. But you have some great leaders and great pastors that think outside the box, right? And so, go ahead, Random, because I do have a question. But go ahead before you forget.
I just wanted to comment that you took 3 course and you stepped it up to 3 restaurants. That's pretty. You exposing me to something. I'm about to step my game up. Like, what do you think about a date night where you studied 3 courses, the same place? You go 3 courses, or you spread that 3 courses over 3 different places, because everybody got their niche, right? Some restaurants have dessert that's real good. Some have the entree. Some have the.
Exactly.
I never thought about that. That sounds like a lot of time, but
that's not something. Can we be honest? Can we be honest?
Yeah,
because that's not something that most men think about. We're not thinking about, how many different restaurants we can go to. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not something that we tend to think about. Now, she gave us a good idea.
Yeah,
she gave a good
definitely.
idea. Okay,
you gotta put that play in before this pod drops. This way, it looks like it's your idea.
Well, listen, we live now, so if they watching us live, y'all know if you see one of us do it, we got it from Kelly. Okay, we just let y'all know right now, we got it from Kelly. That's the play. 3-course meal from 3 different restaurants. I love it.
You gotta try it.
Yeah. I love it. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So you graduate from Franklin High School, right? You were going to William & Mary to study Spanish. Where did you go for college, though? Because I'm assuming you went to an HBCU, but I don't want to assume.
Did.
So talk to us. Where'd you go?
I did. So my college journey was the long route, right? So I started off. I did all HBCUs. I think I started off at Hampton University, so I started my degree program there.
Another HU person.
Another HU.
Another HU.
Another one.
The last person that was from Franklin also went to HU.
Oh yeah,
didn't he?
He did go to HU.
Yeah.
So I started there. So all my lifelong friends, like they're my sisters. They are HU graduates. Actually transferred out, and I ended up graduating from Virginia State undergrad. That's when I got serious about school. When I was at Hampton, I had fun. When I went to Virginia State.
So hold on, let's talk about this fun for a minute. Hold on. So are you telling us that when you got outside of Franklin, your mom exposing you to Spanish classes, right? Taking you to Portsmouth news reporting on weekends, and you go to school just to wild out? Is that what you're telling us?
I did. I owe my mom so many apologies and so much money. I tell her that all the time. I was like, I owe you so much money.
So you go to HU, the real HU, from what they say, right? The real HU, and you're on this campus. And we did ask Dr. Scott the same question, so we'll ask you this question as well. Okay. Was it a culture shock, like going from a small town in Franklin, right, to Hampton, and you're seeing, some of everyone? Was it a culture shock, and how long did it take for you to adjust?
It probably took me a good semester to adjust. And then on top of that, all the people that I end up connecting with, because at Hampton, they connect you with a big sister or a big brother when you come in as a freshman. So my big sisters were from the Caribbean. And then my brothers and sisters through my big sisters were all, for the most part, from New York and from California. So it was like I had so much going on. And even people from the US, culture was different. College culture is different. And then having friends who grew up in major cities or across the country or in another country was a big culture shock for me because so many things for us were different. There were some core things that we all had in common, but there were so many things that were different, and we really had to learn each other. And I even had to learn like how to navigate, friendships and balancing time on a college campus, like as my for my college career. So that was a big adjustment. I would say at least a full semester and probably a little bit more to really adjust and make friendships and things like that. But the friendships and things that I did make, like we to this day, we
That's
are
good.
still very close.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
So all right, so other than partying, right? Was there any takeaways from Hampton, from Hampton University that helped increase your expansion other than the partying lifestyle? Or was that party expansion like, hey, I had to get that out of my system, and now I'm wise and be like, this ain't really what I need to be doing. This ain't really what my mother taught me to be. This is not what my mother wanted me to do with her money, right? And then you grew from that. So sometimes the failures and the mistakes is what also lead
Yeah,
to
we're
the
gonna talk
expansion.
about that. We're gonna get into that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. I will say that is one of the things. Like after I got that first, my grades from first semester, I was like, oh no, we got to do something. We got to change. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't. I think I had like a 2.6, which isn't terrible, but I hadn't had anything that low. I always had like a high 3.8 or 3.7 GPA. So having a 2.6 was really disappointing. One, and then having to show that to my mom and seeing the disappointment and like people who know me seeing the disappointment in their faces, that really kind of helped me get back on track and stay focused. Like you can have fun, but finding that balance of having fun, enjoying the full college experience, but also like you have to pass your classes if you want to graduate.
That's
Yeah,
good. So
yeah.
what was your major? What did you major in?
When I first went, my major was pharmacy, so I was gonna do the pharmacy program.
All right. Okay. And so what made you change from pharmacy?
Chemistry. That was the hardest
Yeah.
class I ever had in my life, and I took it a few times, and I just couldn't get through it. And then I think I wanted to do it because for several reasons, but I think finding my passion, I switched majors, and that's also part of the reason why I switched schools, because I wanted to get into political science. And Virginia State have very good public administration and political science program. So really getting into my passion versus, why am I really doing this? So switching majors really helped me focus and get finally graduate.
Got you. Got you. So you go from being a parrot to being a Trojan, right?
Yes.
And so at what grade did you switch over to Virginia State? Like were you
So I went
junior?
to my third year. I went to Virginia State.
Okay. All
So
right.
I was there for I ended up being there for 2 years.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, so you kind of had the best of both worlds, right?
Yes.
You went to Hampton. I'm not gonna say it's uppity, but you know, you go to Hampton, it's different, right?
It is. The cultures are very different
Yeah, and
at
then
both
you go
schools.
to the hood
Absolutely.
because you went to V State, Petersburg. You in the
Oh
hood,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You in the
For
hood.
sure.
So
For
you
sure.
you go from I'm gonna just say you go from listening to Biggie to listening to Go Go because Virginia State is like
Oh
go
yeah.
go music and all these different flavors, right? Uh,
Absolutely.
but you go for political science. Why did you choose political science? What was it about you that said this is why, or what were you exposed to that made you say this is what I want to go major in because I'm looking to pursue this type of career?
I think my biggest thing goes back to where I'm from. If most people don't know a lot about Franklin, but Franklin is one of those small cities that is literally divided by the train tracks. So on one side of the train tracks, you'll find like affluent Caucasian people, and maybe a few, black families on one side, and then on the other side, it's more um, not completely impoverished, but it's a drastic change from one side of the tracks to the other. And it's mostly racial more than it is probably financial. It's more racial. And there were some things that were happening in Franklin where people been treated unfairly. And one of the things that I really wanted to do was to be an advocate for people that look like me, be an advocate for people who may not know, their civic duties, their rights as residents. So I really wanted to be able to have some influence in the political space because that's where the decisions are made.
Oh man, oh this is getting good now, and I hope people are really taking notes. So you started going to school, focusing on yourself, right? Focusing on what you want to do. You've been told all your life, get a good job, right? And maybe you figured the shipyard was not going to be you. Union camp is not going to be you, right? So I'm going to do something, and you're going to get an education, and you're going to find a good paying field, right?
Right,
But then you start focusing on the disparities and things that's going on back in your hometown, and you want to be impactful, right?
right,
And you've been exposed to black excellence. So you see the
right,
impact that we as a people can have if we put our mind to it and we have the intelligence to do so, right? So
right.
you go to Virginia State and now you're focused. Am I correct? You are focused, right? Or are you
That is correct.
still
I'm focused.
like
No,
one
I'm
foot
focused. I
in?
got good grades.
Okay,
I
okay.
am participating. I'm in leadership academies and part of honor societies, and I'm focused. I'm in class. I'm back home.
Wow,
I'm
wow.
fully focused.
Okay, okay. That's good. So what was your first activist moment? Like what was the first thing you did for your city, while you was in school or when you got out of school?
One of the first things when I got out, well, even before some of the things I did behind the scenes was just talking to people about things that they experienced. So whether they were older, younger, all different types of people, what have been your experiences living here? What are some challenges? Just gathering information. And then one of the biggest things that I was able to do through my nonprofit, we hosted Christmas in July. So this was pre-pandemic. So what we do is go to either Franklin High School, and we've also done it at the middle school, and we have job fair and job representatives or company representatives there. We had a place where people could shop with dignity. So it was a boutique set up where people could just get clothes, and you get a shopping bag. Clothes are hung up on a rack. So while it is a charitable moment, it is also with dignity. We did hot food. We bought other organizations in, and they donated laundry detergent and food that people could take with them. We had things for the kids. We had the city manager there and the fire, people there. We hosted a forum with the police about, the police relationship with the community in places like Dorchester and Suburban, because Suburban was actually still standing at that time, and people of color and what some of the issues were and how we could kind of settle some of those issues, as well as displaying local talent. So we had a little bit of everything going on, but the goal was to display the greatness of Franklin while
Mm.
also really get into the issues, like what is going on with maybe the relationship between police and why we're not getting along, and what's going on, why people don't have, and how can we
Yep.
come together if our government isn't going to do it. How can we come together as fraternities and sororities and community organizations to make sure that the people that are here are really having access to what they need.
Oh,
So
that's good.
that was
That's
probably the
good. So I
first
heard you
and
I
the
heard,
greatest
I
thing.
heard you mention nonprofit. So when did you start the nonprofit and what's the name of the nonprofit?
So I started my nonprofit in 2015, and the name of it is Rosewood Garden. So it's inspired by my great great grandmother, and how she opened space for us to learn, to eat. No matter who you were, you come into her house, she's offering you a plate. She is making sure that you are all good. So that was the goal of Rosewood Garden, was to build healthy communities holistically. So that's physically, emotionally, offering mental health resources, because something about grandma's house also offered all of those things.
That's good.
I like that. I like that. Rosewood Gardens, right? If you're feeding the community with awareness through exposing them to something new. Yeah. I don't know if you thought about
Absolutely.
that as you said that, but I just made it up. So in case you want to use it as a slogan, you're not
I
gonna
got you.
talk.
I'm gonna give you all the credit. I'm gonna give you all the
Okay.
credit.
Oh man, we already getting
That was
credit for
good.
going to 3 different restaurants to get an
Yeah.
appetizer, but all right, cool. What
But
what you
we
got,
all
brother?
expanded together, right? We all feeding off of each other ideas, right?
Yeah,
So that's what, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. That's how
Yeah,
it should
absolutely,
be.
absolutely. Rosewood Gardens, I like that. So you started Rosewood Gardens in 2015. Um,
Yes.
as far as assembling a team and volunteers, how was that process? And was it family members? Was it members of your HU or Virginia State family? Like, how was it forming the organization itself?
So our board consisted of some of my friends from Hampton, as well as community members who I knew had a passion for Franklin. So they all rallied around it. They went all in on it. Also, my home church is First Baptist Church in Franklin. So many of the members there, they gave a lot of the entrepreneurs, they gave brand new with tags, clothing racks, even community organizations and sororities. The Franklin chapter of the AKAs, they showed up and they gave. So it was a combination of community organizations as well as, individuals and family and friends that believed in what was happening. So they were all hands on deck and they were ready to go.
That's good. That's good. Now, I'm not sure if people remember this, but um, what happened in Asheville, North Carolina, as far as the hurricane damage, something similar happened in Franklin. I'm not sure what year it was, but I remember when there was parts of Franklin, bro, that was underwater. Like, if you can imagine what Asheville, North Carolina was looking like from the media coverage, there was parts of Franklin that was like literally underwater. Okay, I'm not sure what year it was, but I remember.
1999. I
Wow,
believe it was
okay,
1999.
yeah, I remember that. So, um, you had this organization, and you're going back into your city, and you're giving back, right? Give us some challenges you face, because here's what we know: anyone that's seeking to do something well is going to get faced with some type of obstacle. There's going to be someone that's going to not like what you're doing, right? So what were some of the challenges that you faced as you were trying to help the community and help the city?
I think some of the chatter, just, people see Franklin as one thing, so they believe that's all it can be. So I had a few people say, I don't know why you're doing this. It's nothing's going to change. I had a few people even a few community organizations who would not call me back, who would not acknowledge letters. And that's not even me asking for money or asking anything. This is just asking them, to be present or to be a part of the meetings. So there were some that were on board, like Franklin Department of Parks and Rec, Down the Middle Foundation, Camp 25. I wanted to start naming because I don't want to leave anybody out. But there were many organizations who, unfortunately, did not want to be a part because they did not think that we would have a lasting effect. And unfortunately, the other part of that also is there are some organizations, some people who do not want to collaborate because they want to get the credit. And our thing was we're doing this as a
Hold on,
community. So
let's
Rosewood
talk
Garden.
about that. Hold on, let's park right there for a minute. Let's park.
Okay.
Let's not fly through that, because
Okay.
you nailed it. Collaboration is important. Collaboration is
Absolutely.
important. I firmly believe that anyone that's going to be successful is going to do so by partnerships, right? Me and Randall have
Absolutely.
an amazing partnership. Yes, we have our own separate businesses, but we also have businesses that we do together, right?
Mhm.
And we do very well together. And you're so right. And I don't want to assume that it's just our community as a people, because we know what took place in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street with O.W. Gurley, J.B. Stratton, you know what I mean? Like how they came together and it was amazing, right? We know where there's been some amazing partnerships to take place in our community, but for some reason, haters be hating.
Yeah.
And instead of people coming on board to say, you know what, I think we can go further together. Why? Let's talk about that. Let's just part for a
I
minute.
don't
Let's
know.
part for a minute. Like, I didn't know what was happening in Franklin. You know, I'm
Yeah.
thinking maybe that just happened in big cities, right? Maybe that's just a Atlanta thing. But you telling me in Franklin, where you ain't got that, you know everybody, right?
Absolutely.
You
Yes.
got Oak Street, you got South Street. It ain't that many streets that
Right.
you're going on, and people are, hey, come on, Kelly, come on. No, can't be,
Yeah.
not Franklin. Nah, not Franklin.
And we kept moving. It is. I mean, I had someone who I invited to be a part of it, and I won't name organizations,
Yep.
but I had this out. I mean, you plan events for months, and they planned their event the same day at the same time. They planned a
Whoa.
community event. The second year we did it.
Wow.
I know that it was because I reached out to them with the date, and they announced their things after, like a few weeks after that.
So
They
here we
announced it,
come
and they told me they
divided.
weren't available.
Wow. So the same type of event on the same day. Randall,
Yes.
can you talk just for a minute before we carry on? Can you talk about the power of collaborations, right? Because we've seen it work in so many different ways. And I think it's important for our viewers to know that you can go further and you can cover more ground with partnerships. Can you just talk about that just for a little bit, bro, before we carry on?
Yeah, absolutely. We could speak to the Forte experience. The Forte podcast was the intent. Well, the Forte experience is intended to bring people like-minded into a networking event with a party twist. And the podcast was created from that. But it was partying with other communities, other people who already had established, I guess, fanfare or some type of base of people that followed them and brought them into the same fold. We support them, they support us, and we're all, the goal is to provide as much service we can to the people that are coming to attend our events, right? And likewise for Rosewood Gardens, right? So I think the missed opportunity that individual missed out on was that y'all could have equally took y'all resources and combined the two together to provide even more value to the community instead of trying to split hairs, or he trying, not you, but he trying, or her, or the other person splitting hairs, and then having the community trying to figure out which one. Do we go to her event or we go to the other person's event instead of it all being together? Yeah. But that's the power of collaboration, right? Everybody gravitates to somebody different. But if we all collaborate together, then we all could bring those same people into the same space, and both our events could be successful at the same time. It doesn't have to be like separate. It could be combined.
Yeah, man.
I've seen that firsthand through the Forte
Yep.
experience.
Yep. And I want to share, Kelly, this was some years ago. I was doing a youth event, right? And I wanted to get churches together. And this is when I figured out that if you're trying to get churches involved, it's not as easy as it sounds. And I could almost guess that it was probably a church, but I'm not going to say it. But I can almost guess it's probably a church that did that. But anyway, and I remember I was trying to meet with pastors and youth pastors and just different leaders to put this event together, right? And we were going to feed and give out clothes, and actually we did it, right? But one leader asked me this question. He says, "Well, who's going to take the offering?" And I said, "Offering? Like, we're not collecting no offering? Like, what are we talking about?" Like, and it was there that I realized that there's a couple of things. One, if there's money involved, money tends to separate people. Two, notoriety. There's always somebody that wants to take the credit. But if you can collab with people that have a common goal who's focused more on the mission at hand, right? And the purpose, like just serving. Listen, we're here to serve. I don't care who's on the flyer. I don't care whose name is on the flyer. I don't care who face is on the flyer, right? This is about us making sure that the ultimate goal is achieved. If we can get to that, we can do some amazing things. But people got to be able to get over that. So
Yes.
all right, yeah. So let's move on. So you did your events, Rosewood Gardens nonprofit. You're working in the community, right? There are some people that supported and there's some that didn't, right?
Right.
And I just want to pause real quick because, bro, I just thought about something. I forgot who I think it was Pastor Jamal Bryant that mentioned this, that we spend more energy focusing on the negative than we do the positives. Like you talked about the AKs and all of those organizations that were supporting you, and we just spent the last 5 minutes talking about the person that didn't. Man, we got to do better. But anyways, thank you to those of you that supported, to those of you that contributed, to those of you that showed up and volunteered. And so, all right. So what was next? Because we do want to get to what you're doing now, and I know that what you're doing now is different than what you were doing then. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, talk to us about that. How'd you get to where you are now?
So where I am now, so after undergrad, I took a short break, and then I actually went to Virginia Union to their School of Theology, and I got my MDiv. And once that sparked something else of creating safe spaces. You mentioned churches, creating safe spaces for people, because there are a lot of churches that are safe spaces, but there are also a lot of religious institutions that are not safe for people that don't take care of people holistically. So with the knowledge and experience that I gained there, it birthed what I'm doing now, which is the vent movement, which helps support people holistically. So having mental health resources. One member of our board is actually has a mental health agency. We also offer safe space to talk about things that you may not be able to talk about, or people may not feel comfortable talking about in religious spaces. And that can be from academic things to day-to-day things to money to sex to relationships where they may not feel comfortable talking about it in one space, so they come there. We offer all types of resources, just kind of depending where we are in the time and what space we're in. We also travel to different cities. You mentioned we were in Atlanta, so we are based in the 757, but we travel, and we have a large community base of our virtual community where we offer people community. So that is often taken for granted. Like everybody wasn't taught certain things that you may do every day.
Absolutely.
Everybody didn't have, grandma and grandpa and moms and dads. So our goal is to create a holistically healthy community. So that's mentally, emotionally, physically, and the whole person. So that's
How
the
did you
goal.
identify the need though? Like was it something you went through personally, right? Or was it that people just kept coming to you for advice and you was like, man, I think there's more people, there's a community for this. Like, what was it that had you to identify that there was a need for you to create this space, this safe space?
So I think it was both of those things. So one, being a woman in ministry has its own challenges, right? Because the world, if we just be honest, leans more patriarchal. So being a woman in spaces and being denied certain things, or being, having hurdles put in front of us, often it's like, okay, if I can't get it done here, then I'll make my own space. We're often forced to make our own
That
space.
is say that again. Say it again.
If I can't do it there, then I am gonna make my own space. So that was part of it, and then the other part was people who've had religious trauma, who've experienced church hurt, people who were once in ministry and now aren't, and some people, kind of not just left the church, but they just don't even consider themselves Christian or religious anymore because of things that have happened inside of church walls. So our goal is to give people that spiritual formation, give them that biblically sound advice and resource without the pressure of it being church and without the pressure of the hierarchy and the patriarchal systems that often influence a lot of religious institutions.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
Mm.
Man.
So when we go into
Yeah.
those spaces, like you were there when we were in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So when we're there, like the goal is it's a healing space. So we
Absolutely.
have people who have. I'm not a certified counselor, but I've taken classes, and I always make that known.
Yeah.
But the goal is like often you don't have a space to say, this is what happened or this
Yep.
has been my experience
Yep.
because people go on the attack and go on the defense like, but so it is the
Yeah.
goal is to have safe space and know that you're not alone. So some
Yep.
of the experiences you have, other people have had a similar experience or they can identify with you. So here are some healthy resources you can use to navigate that. And you have people who are walking
And it
alongside of
was
you
good
as you
marketing, by the way. Let me just say this, Randall. It was good marketing. So I get an inbox from my good friend and brother, Dr. Dwight Riddick, and he says, "Bro, my homegirl doing a brunch in your city." He said brunch, okay? Said a brunch in your city, man. If you can pull up, all right, cool. Say less, right? Make some things work, move some schedule around. I'm coming. I see. Okay, Kelly coming to. Okay, she from the hometown. She from the area. They out in our city. I'm coming. I'm pulling up, bro. Now, when you think of brunch, Randall, if I say we going to brunch, come on, paint the picture. And we in Atlanta, so when I say we going to brunch, bro, paint the picture. What are you thinking? Come on, talk to me, bro. What are you thinking? Brunch.
I'm thinking chicken and waffles, grits with salt and pepper,
Okay.
some mimosas.
Mimosas, okay.
music.
Yeah.
That type of vibe.
So listen, man. I'm not sure if you all seen the movie The Forged, but I walk in and I was like, "Oh man, this ain't." Because brunch in Atlanta, you got the music is blasting. Like, let me just be honest. It's sundresses and dudes dressed. You know what I'm saying? Like that's me and Queen went to a few brunches out here, so that's what you're expecting, right? And man, I went into a therapy session and it felt good. No, I'm joking, but I'm serious. Like I went expecting one thing, but got something else. And I'm saying to myself, man, I wish more people knew about this, or I wish more people would have came, right? And it wasn't just for adults. That's another thing. Like I would have brought my kids. Like my girls would have really enjoyed it because the way the temperature in the room was set, like it just made you comfortable to share. Like nothing was forceful. People was just, it was just vibing. So Kelly, I commend you for creating that space. Just don't call it a brunch. Call it something else. Just don't say brunch because
I'm working on that.
Was there any food?
Oh, the food was the food was. Listen, we had those 3 courses. So she made sure. Listen, bro, we had those 3 courses. Like it was dope. The spread was awesome. What was the restaurant? I forgot the name of the restaurant, but
it was Maggiano's.
Yeah, it was nice.
We had like shrimp, calamari, salads.
Yep.
We had a dessert bar.
Yeah, it was dope, man. I mean, the ambiance, like I said, where it was good. It was just, like, good job. Good job. Let me just say that. Good job.
What is this called? This iteration of what you created for the community, is this still called Rosewood Gardens, or did it evolve? And is this a branch off and it's a different name? What do you call this tour, this reach out, this version of what you're doing?
Yeah, it's called the Vent. It's the Vent movement. So we travel and we try to create what Dominic just talked about. We try to create those spaces. The goal is to create those spaces no matter where we are. And the goal is to do that virtually as well as in person, and to go to people versus expecting people to come to us. So the food is, brings people together. Food has its own healing ability, but then the conversation is, we're all here together. we all have shared experiences. We all also have different experiences and perspectives that are valued here, and we want to hear what you have to say. So it's not lecture. It's not like me talking
Yep.
to you. It's
Yep.
like us and community having a conversation. So what you have to bring is so valuable to this space, and we
Yeah.
want to hear it, and we're listening intently, and you're helping to heal. You're helping other people heal with what you share, and you're getting something when you go as well.
And what I want to say, because I want you to talk about, when is the next one, right? Because for me to be in a room that it was male and female, right? Predominantly more female, but it was male and female. But for most men, we only feel comfortable to talk around men. But for some reason, myself included and the other fellas were comfortable sharing, right? I don't know if you went and anointed every chair before you got started. Like, I don't know. But when I tell you, Randall, like, it was a very cool, relaxed. I think that for people that attend the event, and this, I only attended one time, right? But for those of you that have attended, or those of you who are looking for a safe space, this is it. Like, listen, this is the space for you to attend. And it was nothing preachy. Like, there was nothing preachy about it. It was, like I said, it felt like an open therapy session, counseling session. It was good. So kudos
Thank
to you
you.
and your team.
That's the goal. Like you,
yeah.
you. Thank you for that, because that shows that what we're trying to achieve is happening. That's what people are receiving. So thank you so much for that.
So when is the next one? When is the next one? Where is it? Because Randall need to be there.
So we actually plan, our next stop is the DMV. So we plan to be
let's
in
go.
Baltimore.
Come on now.
So that's
When is
funny.
it? Let
We
me
plan
go
to be in
again.
Baltimore in March. We have not locked in the date yet, the exact date yet, because
Okay.
we're waiting on one more. Because we usually do kind of like a panel, so it's open conversation, but we do have a few people that we want to share. They share their journey. So we're working on locking in a date by the end of this month, but we'll be in Baltimore
can I make a
in
suggestion?
March.
Can I make a suggestion?
Absolutely.
Come on. Do what y'all think you about to do. Go ahead.
Now we have the Forte experience. We have a date
Yeah.
already set, April 26th.
Oh, for real?
We have
What's the date?
we have an amazing venue set. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Collaboration.
I'm all about collaboration.
just
So
saying.
hey, let's do it.
And actually, this might not think about it. We get the event for the venue space is the same price for the entire day. We could be in there 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. We could do the Rosewood or the event that leads into the Forte experience. Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
talk
we
about
have to
that.
talk about this.
Yeah, let's talk
do
about
it.
that. Let's talk about
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Collaboration. So,
Absolutely. That's good.
Absolutely.
That
Yeah.
yeah.
They can get that healing power, right? That personal development, and then they can get that professional development. Right?
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come
You
on.
need both.
She said it's holistic. It's holistic. It's holistic.
That's it. I
It's
love
holistic.
that.
Yep,
Yeah, we
yep.
definitely let's do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, all right. So, apart from your events that you're doing quarterly, right? Are you having like monthly Zoom meetings? Like, what do you have ongoing? I know someone may attend an event, but like, what happens afterwards? Like, okay, they attended the event, but what's next? Like, they feel good for an evening. But it's like, man, I got to talk to somebody else about this. Like, so what do you have in place for individuals? It's like, okay, what do I do now?
So we actually host every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. We are live, and we have community conversations almost the same exact setup as when we're in person. We have a topic, we have audience questions, we invite people to comment during the whole conversation. So that's 9 p.m. virtually on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And we just recently started last month. It's called the Event Nightcap. So Sundays through Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, we are virtual again, and we give people practical ways that they can rest and decompress for the day. So there are tools to take with you. We have a rest guide, and it's just ways that you can unpack, you can decompress, and get quality sleep at night versus being under the pressure of hustle, and not taking care of yourself. So that's mental, emotionally, and spiritually.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay. So what do you
And
see?
all of
What do
those
you
are
see for,
interactive.
what are you seeing for
I'm
like
sorry.
5 years from now? What do you
Yep.
see this evolving to? What is your vision for this?
So my vision 5 years from now is the same way we're in Atlanta, same way we're going to the DMV area, is for us to have hubs in those areas. So it won't all be me and the team that we currently have, but we'll have people who lead the Atlanta hub, that lead the DMV hub, and they have ongoing in-person meetings. And we also have meetings where we all come together, like no matter where you are across the country or across the world, we have those moments where we all come together, all the hubs, as well as the ongoing activities. So it's just like the vent in Atlanta, the vent DMV, the vent, San Francisco, but it's providing these resources no matter where you are. And it's very specific to the need of whatever your geographical region is and the people who live there and are part of the community.
Got you. And where can people go to find the next event, or when you release the date? Because you're gonna do this collaboration with the Forte Experience. But where can people go
Absolutely.
to find this information out and see upcoming events?
So they can go to theventmovement.life. They can also find me on Instagram at ms_miss_sweat. And that's where I post everything there, or at the Vent Live. So that's the Vent Lives page. A lot of it comes from our personal page as well.
Okay. Got it. So y'all go check this out. Y'all go check
Yes.
her out.
Yes.
And then also be on the look and work behind the scenes to make this happen, right? Because it's a beautiful venue. Hearing what I heard from Dom, and then what you're sharing, I think there's a piece where we could lock this venue down from beginning to end and have it just be boom, 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 just provide over value to the attendees, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So tonight, for those of you watching us right now, she's going to be live on YouTube. Now, is that correct, Kelly? Tonight, 9 p.m.
Yes, at 9 p.m. at the Vent Live.
So make sure you all go to youtube.com, the Vent Live, right? So you can tune in. It's very interactive. So you all can get a taste of what you can expect live at the Vent. Make sure you follow her on all social media as well. All right. Great content that she's putting out. And Kelly, we want to say thank you. Thank you for serving and being a humble servant for the community. And for doing so for quite some time, right? Consistency is key, right? And so your track record has proven that you haven't just started this and stopped, but you have progressed, right? And you've done so, and it just keep getting better and better and better. So kudos to you, and kudos to your amazing mentors and coaches that have been pointing to you and showing you the way. So thank you for being on the Forte podcast.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. We appreciate
Thank
you.
you both for having me.
Yeah. Anything you want to say before we close out?
I want to say thank you. I also want to shout out. I don't want to ever make it seem like it's just me. I have an amazing team. I have an amazing leadership team for the event. So I want to shout out my leadership team and for all that they do, for every sacrifice that they've made. Thank you. Collaboration is key. Collaboration is why we exist. And to our event community, we would not be in existence without our community either. So I just want to shout out everyone who has ever supported us and been a part of our conversations and events. Thank you.
You got it. All right. Kelly, if you can hold off right quick in the green room, we'll come right back to you. Franklin, VA, another week. Y'all in the house. Let's go. Bro, that was good, man. That was good.
Now I'm about to plan my next date night before this goes and gets released.
Yeah. You can do those 3 different ones, right? We can do McDonald's for the we can get fries from McDonald's. We can get,
what are you doing? What are we doing right now? That is not your forte.
I'm just joking. You're right. It's not my forte. But listen, man, that was dope, man. But honestly, I wish I could have the right words to say to really explain how well the event was put. Like, I can't find the right word to say it. And for her to say she's going to be in the DMV area, oh man, this would be amazing. Trust me, for those of you watching, those of you in the DMV area, I know
I'm
we
excited.
love for people to come to the Forte experience, but find the event live wherever they are. Just make sure you're there. Just make sure you're there. You're going to listen. The food is great, right? It's free of charge. You're going to, yeah. And she didn't even talk about donations because people watching, you can donate to the organization. You can pledge to support the organization. She didn't even mention that, but I'm going to mention it, right? Because they do these events and don't charge a dime. They charge a dime, right? And it cost. Like that venue was a real upscale venue. It wasn't like some hole in the wall. That was a real upscale venue with a spread, a real good spread. And it costs money to do that, right? And so, yes. So please make sure you all support. Go support the Vent Live movement. And hey, man, y'all go support the Forte community because we are out of here. We appreciate y'all so much. Hey, man, what else we got to say, man? Anything else?
Look out for the new website. The website is going to be so interactive. It's going to have the Forte podcast itself and all the videos. It's going to have the Forte experience. It's about to be lit.
It's about to be lit. But listen, we out of here. We appreciate y'all. www.theforteexperience.com, and we are the Forte community on all platforms: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Snap, you name it, we there. X, we all there. The Forte community. Share, comment, subscribe today. Forteers, UI peoples, we out of here.
Let's go.